Hey y'all, happy Sunday. It's still Sunday. Welcome in. I'm about to release the message for tonight for Genesis chapter 13 and 14. How y'all doing? Happy Sunday. I'm about to go ahead and get into the word. The topic is God is releasing and making room. God is making room. How y'all doing? Humility makes room for promise. I will be in Genesis chapter 13 and 14. Happy Sunday. Alright, I'm about to go ahead and start my reading so that way I can get into my notes. Chapter 13 begins with Abraham and Lot separate. So Abraham left Egypt and traveled north into the Negev alone with his wife and Lot and all that they owned. Abraham was very rich in livestock, silver and gold. From the Negev, they continued traveling by stages toward Bethel, and they pitched their tents between Bethel and Ai, where they had camped before. This was the same place where Abram had built the altar, and there he worshipped the Lord again. Lot, who was traveling with Abram, had also become very wealthy with flocks and sheep and goats, herds and of cattle and many tents. But the land could not support both Abram and Lot with all their flocks and herds living so close together. Hello. So disputes broke out between the herdsmen of Abram and Lot. At the time, Canaanites and Perizzites were also living in the land. Finally, Abraham said to Lot, "Let's not allow this conflict to become between us or our herdsmen. After all, we are close relatives. The whole countryside is open to you. Take your choice of any section of the land you want, and we will separate. We will separate." So again, I'm in Genesis 13 and I'll be reading 14. But the topic for tonight is humility. Humility makes room for promise. So God is making room for promises that he gave. So again, this is Abram and Lot separate before he got his name changed. So he said, take your choice of any section of the land you want, and we will separate. If you want the land to the left, then I'll take the land to the right. If you prefer the land on the right, then I'll go to the left. Lot took a long look at the fertile plains of the Jordan Valley in the direction of Zoar. The whole area was well watered, everywhere like the garden of the Lord, or the beautiful land of Egypt. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Lot chose for himself the whole Jordan Valley to the east of them. He went there with his flocks and servants and parted company with his uncle Abram. So Abram settled in the land of Canaan, and Lot moved his tents to a place near Sodom and settled among the cities of the plain. But the people of this area were extremely wicked and constantly sinned against the Lord. This is where Lot, in his area, he was somewhere near where there was wicked and they sinned against the Lord. So later, Lot had gone. After Lot had gone, the Lord said to Abram, "Look as far as you see in every direction, north and south, east and west. I am giving all this land as far as you can see to you and your descendants. as a permanent possession, and I will give you so many descendants that, like the dust of the earth, they cannot be counted. Go and walk through the land in every direction, for I am giving it to you. So Abram moved his camp to Hebron and settled near the oak grove belonging to Mamre. There he built another altar to the Lord. So he's building, everywhere he go, he's building an altar to the Lord. He's never forgetting God and the promises he gave, and just maneuvering it. God told him to move one way, he's still building the altar. So I'm going to read 14, and then I'm going to get into my notes, which is really good. So Abram rescues Lot. So before I get into 14, they basically, Abram and Lot had so many things to where they had to separate. He was like, we gonna bump heads, we gonna have confusion. The land is so much, so Abram allowed Lot to choose first. He didn't be greedy. He's like, you go ahead and choose. If you go right, I'm gonna go left. You go left, I'm gonna go right. So Abram pretty much chose the beautifulest thing that he could see with his own eyes. But afterwards, after the separation, from what I see, the Lord still blessed Abram. He say, you look as far as you can see, in every direction, from north and south, east and west. He say, I'm giving you all this land as far as you can see, and for your descendants. So 14, Abram rescued Lot. About this time, war broke out in the region. King Amphirel in Babylonia, King Orchich in Elazarah, King Chedorlaomer in Elam, and King Tidal of Gomer fought against King Bera. These names got me in a chokehold, y'all. I'm sorry. Sodom, King Bersah, and Gomorrah, King Shinab and of Adama, King Shemerbeer and Zebon, and the king of Bel, also Zor. I'm sounding these out the best I can, y'all. The second group of kings joined forces in the Sedum Valley, that is the Valley of the Dead Sea. For 12 years they had been subject to King Chedorlaomer, but in the 13th year they rebelled against him. 1 year later, Chedorlaomer and his allies arrived and defeated the Rephates in Astarkaring, I can't say that, I'm sorry. The Zerzites at Ham, the Emites and Shava, and the Horites of Mount Seir, as far as Elaparim. Lord, be with me with these names, Jesus. At the edge of the wilderness, when they had turned back and came to Enamishaphat, now called Kadesh, and conquered all the territory of the Alamalekites and also the Amorites living in Hazorn. Then the rebel kings of Sodom, Gomorrah, Adam, Zebon, and Bela, also called Zor, prepared for battle in the valley of the Dead Sea. They fought against King Chedorlaomer of Elam, King Tidal and Goram, King Amraphel of Babylonia, and King Orch of Elazar, 4 kings against 5. As it happened, the valley of the Dead Sea was filled with tar pits, and as the army of the kings of Sodom and Gomorrah fled, some fell into the tar pits, while the rest escaped into the mountains. The victorious invaders then plundered Sodom and Gomorrah and headed for home, taking with them all of the spoils of war and the flood supplies. They also captured Lot, Abram's nephew, who lived in Sodom, and carried off everything he owned. So they captured Lot. But one of Lot's men escaped and reported everything to Abram the Hebrew, who was living near the oak grove belonging to Mamre, the Amorites. Mamre and his relatives Eshcol and Aner were Abraham's allies. When Abraham heard that his nephew Lot had been captured, he mobilized the 318 trained men who had been born into his household. Then he pursued Chedorlaomer's army until he caught up with them at Dan. There he divided his men and attacked it during the night. Chedorlaomer's army fled, but Abram chased them as far as Hobiah, north of Dacamacus. Abram recovered all of the goods that had been taken and brought back his nephew Lot with his possessions and all of the women and other captives. So Abram had to pretty much save his nephew. After Abram returned from his victory over Chedorlaomer and all of his allies, the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Shaveh, that is the king's valley. And Melchizedek, the king of Salem, and a priest of God Most High, brought Abram some bread and wine. Melchizedek blessed Abram with this blessing. Blessed be Abram by God Most High, creator of heaven and earth. And be blessed be God Most High, who has defeated your enemies for you. Then Abram gave Melchizedek a tenth of all the goods he had recovered. The king of Sodom said to Abram, give back my people who were captured, but you may keep for yourself all of the goods you have recovered. Abram replied to the king of Sodom, I solemnly swear to the Lord, God Most High, creator of heaven and earth, that I will not take so much as a single thread or sandal thong from what belongs to you. Otherwise, you might say I am the one who made Abram rich. I will accept only what my young warriors have already eaten, and I request that you give a fair share of goods to my allies, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre. So that is 13 and 14. I'm sorry, 14 had me in a chokehold. But the takeaway of these chapters is the separation. So let's get into my notes. Abraham and Lot separated in 13, right? Hey. Before we get started, take a moment and silence yourself as you fully release the separations that you didn't have to go through in life. Any type of separations, I want you to take a moment of silence to fully release. Any separations, anything that God has taken from you, and you fully recovered, you fully released it, God fully healed you, He got you through it. Even when there has been like goodness, like celebration, or even being around others, like the presence of others has been a celebration to you, to be like, you know, I don't really take that as a good thing, or maybe it was a bad thing. Certain things still took place. Like, take a moment to know, like, okay, God, I fully released this. I'm surrendering. I'm moving on. I'm moving on. If you separated me from this, it's for a better reason. It's for a greater good. The same way in chapter 13, like, they both, Abram and Lot, they had to separate because the blessings was coming and they was about to be bumping heads. But sometimes we bump heads with people and we still stay attached to people, not knowing that God is trying to detach us to fully bless us. But we might not fully get that recovery or that overflow because we still holding on to something or someone that we need to let go, or something that we fully need to let go, and we know it, but we just still hold on to it. So I hope and pray that you fully release so that you could receive the overflow, the promises that God has for you. The same way that Abram could have said, no, I'm gonna pick first, I'm gonna choose first. You know, he didn't hold on, and each time God allowed him to move or told him to move, he has been obedient and has been building the altar for God. Like, he still put God first. So Abram and Lot had grown so much in flocks, herds, and possessions that the land could not handle them, staying that close together. So strife, anger, or bitterness, disagreements, conflict started to happen between their herdsmen. Have you ever been around somebody and they might have been good people, but you can't be around them too long? That's even staying with people that be your people, and you like, this ain't gonna work, God. I need you to bless me. I need you to open up a door for me, because we steady keep bumping heads. Like, she got on the same kind of shirt that I just had on. I don't know if we sharing the same things, is she taking, or, you know, that's just an example. But when you are around certain people for so long, sometimes conflict it began to happen. Unless you got your one side of the house and they got their other side of the house, and y'all really don't see each other, you know. But I wanted to break down the herdsmen, because they herdsmen began to have conflict, which is the stockman, the owner or keeper of the herds and animals. So Genesis 13 verses 6 and 7, the land could not support them together, and there was strife. There was strife. In Genesis 13 verses 8 and 9, Abram said, well, let there be no equal quarrel between us. Separate yourselves. So it was too much increase in one space. Again, it was too much increase in one space. Tension rising because of the overcrowding. Like, they was both getting blessed, but it was just too much. Like how you can get overstimulated. Like, I need to breathe. I need some room. I need to free up some space. Like, it's just too much for me. Wisdom said, spread out before confusion grows. So one had to be wise. That's why I said in my video before I went live, like, I heard the Holy Spirit say, never get tired of being a bigger person. Never get tired of being wise. Never get tired of just feeling like, you know, I have to be mature. I have to be the big person. I have to be the one that's doing this or that. Or why can't nobody get on your level? Sometimes those that are around you, they ain't on your level. So instead of confusing, like, conflict or having conflict, you just prevent certain things from happening, even when it makes you feel like, dang, I'm always having to be the bigger person. I'm always having to do this. Why they can't, you know, do these same things? You might not be able to find a you in everybody. Everybody is not gonna move and do the way you do, but don't turn your heart cold just because they doing, you know, evilness, wickedness, or things like that. Just the start of confusion. So imagine having to share again your space, room, blessings with others that may have as many as you, or even more as you, and it's no room to grow, or it fits things in tight spaces, closed spaces. So you might have so much in one room, but you might be sharing your space with somebody, and it gets too tight. It gets overwhelming. It gets overstimulated. So that's what was going on with Abram and Lot. Like, it was just too much in one little small space. God is closing some spaces and fulfilling some at the same time. So I want you to know that if you feel like your life, like God is opening up some doors, but he's also shutting some doors, like my Bible just flipping pages by itself with the fan going, just know that you got to keep going. Don't look back. Don't flip that chapter. Don't flip that page. When God is wanting to give you more, he might have to close some doors. He might have to remove some people. So just know that even in tight situations, God is going to see you to feel like, okay, this is a life lesson. I'm going to take what I got and I'm going to move on. I'm going to allow God to open up that next door. But don't beat yourself down or don't speak ill. Just wait patiently. Like, I know God going to make room for me. The same way I done told him, Lord God, make room for my gift. I know a late night shift for me to go live is the only way possible for my household. I could do it in the daytime, but I might get overwhelmed, not because it's in a tight space, but I'm only one person trying to do so much. So if you feel like, you need to ask God, like, God, make room for this. I feel like I'm in a closed, tight space right now. I can't move the way I want to. Go back to God, and whatever promises he have over your life, just trust and believe he's gonna do what God says, but he's gonna move on his time. He's gonna move on his time. Just because he don't move on your time, that does not mean he's not listening. But just know that he's gonna move on his time. And I promise you, his time is always the best time. We've been feeling like, oh, I ain't got that much patience. I ain't got this. I don't know. You promised me this, God. I need this. You see, I'm barely able to do all these things. But at the right time, he gonna make it happen. I promise you. I'm a living testimony. I'm a living witness to just knowing that, okay, God, each time we feel like we get that urge to saying, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what's gonna shape, but I got faith that something is going to work out. God will give you more. He might give you just enough. But just know that that is going to stretch out into that next blessing, that next door, that next promise come through at his time. So the spiritual lesson is every separation is not a loss. It's not. Every separation is not a loss. Sometimes separations protect peace and makes room for promise. Again, every separation is not a loss. Sometimes separation protects peace and makes room for promise. Abram did not separate in bitterness. He separated in peace, maturity, and wisdom. So after the separation, Abram received more blessings. God told Abram to lift up his eyes, and he promised the land and his descendants. This is a strong message. Some promises become clear after unnecessary closeness. So again, some promises become clear after unnecessary closeness. When God closed the door, that's when the promises really come through. When he closed some doors, he gonna open up some more. But you just have to trust and believe that he is removing for a reason. And sometimes people come in your life for a reason or a season. Some people just get too close to you too, and really don't know the way that God does for you, no matter the tears, no matter the amount of tears that comes with what you have going on. A lot of people don't know that connection that you have with God, and just because they see you crying, it does not mean like, oh, she's sad, the devil got her, she can't move. Like, no, just watch what God do. And everybody can't go with you. Everybody cannot go where God is taking you. Again, everybody cannot go where God is taking you. Some people are not bad people, but they can become too close. Sometimes God don't want people too close to us because it'll stop or hinder or block our blessings. So seasons, your next season, sometimes the blessings need space. Again, the next season may require space, and that might be God breaking and removing, I appreciate it, removing certain people and certain things. The problem wasn't just people, it was pressure crowding and conflict separating made room for peace and promises. I'm gonna read that back. The problem wasn't just people. If God is separating you from people, places, things, maybe that's not just the problem, but maybe it's the pressure, crowding, and conflict. Separation made room for peace. When God separates you from certain people and certain things, if you just sit back and take a moment like, dang, I ain't got to hit extra. I got my own problems going on. I got my own chaos that I'm trying to fix. I got my own mess that I'm trying to turn into a message. Like that silence, those no longer receiving text messages and phone calls like that, there can be a peace of mind, or somebody coming, popping up, knocking at your door. Like, separation sometimes make room for peace and the promise that God has for you. Was Abraham blessed more after obedience? Yes, he was. But not because Lot was cursed or anything, because he wasn't. Abram walked with faith, peace, and yield the choices. Abraham let Lot choose first, which he did, which showed humility. Then God reaffirmed their promises to Abram, like he say, look, as far as you can see, I'm blessing you from not just one side, but every side, north, east, south, and the west. So the pattern is growth comes, tension came, wide separation came, then clear promises came. So again, growth may come, but in the midst of your growth, there might also be tension. And then God allows us to separate, but he also allows us to see wise decisions in our life. This is the reason why. That's why I said never feel like you want to stop being the bigger person. I know sometimes you get burnt out, you get drained from somebody just feeling like they can't hold themselves accountable. But when God separates you, it makes room for peace and promise. And it might come with a little tension in the midst of growth. But just like a flower, you might have a solid foundation, just like a flower. But the soil, all that down at the bottom, once it starts growing, the roots and things like that get stronger. But in the midst of certain seasons, what happened with a flower? It gets, certain things get the falling off, weeding out, so it doesn't stunt the growth. Sometimes you have to water it, sometimes you just need to let it sit. So allow God to just do what he's going to do in your life. And if he removes somebody, if he removes certain things, you better take heed and listen, because at the same time, he's trying to make room for your peace and your promise. Genesis 14 shows Lot getting caught in trouble because he pitched towards Sodom. He wanted to move somewhere where it looked pretty. Not just, oh, this is what God is telling me. He was going after it for his own beauty, the beauty of the eye. But he didn't know that just because it looked good, that don't mean it's good. Just because it looked good, that doesn't mean it's good. Because in where he was going, it says right here, where it said, he moved somewhere where they didn't obey God. Like, they didn't really worship God. They wasn't thinking about God. So he was in an area to where it was unfamiliar spirits. So he got himself caught up in some trouble, and Abram had to go save him. So Sodom had pretty much swept Abram and knocked him off his feet. And that's when Abram had to go rescue him. So the spiritual lesson behind it is, where you choose to settle matters. Where you choose to settle matters. Like, don't just settle. Don't just settle no any and everywhere. That means even accept the certain things and certain people in your life, just because you might feel empty in that moment, or you just, I ain't got nothing else to go. I ain't got nothing else to do. Let me just do this just to make myself feel good or make somebody else feel good. Don't just settle like that. Because it really matters. Lot chose by what looked good naturally. Lot chose what looked good naturally, but Abram walked by covenant with God. Like, he thought about God in every area of his life. Lot chose by sight. Abram lived by promise. That was the difference. The Lord promised Abram's son a son. And this is in the farther chapters. I got to read more. Like, after all these hard names, I got to read more. And Genesis actually gets good. Like, it gets good. These names be having me in a chokehold. But I wanted to say, as I get on to chapter 15, like, the separation from Abram and Lot, like, God still blessed him even after Abram let him choose first. Like, we might allow others to choose for us and then be put in certain situations, so we have to go rescue somebody. We have to separate. But when God separates, don't go back. Don't go back, because the promise is almost there. Like, and when the devil know that you near a blessing or breakthrough or overflow, he will run back your past. And I'm like, I ain't asked for this. What we doing? Because it's been a long time coming, baby. And I done got used to peace. I done got used to a peace of mind. I don't need all that. I ain't asking for all that. I don't want to see the notifications. I don't want to talk about it. I'm good. I'm good over here. You stay on your side, I stay on my side. We it's peace. It's peace. It's peace. So after all of this, chapter 15, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because I ain't read this to y'all. But I did take the notes that the Lord promised Abram a son, but even his descendants became slaves. I'm like, how is that? Like, you making promises to Abram, but then his descendants still become a slave? Like, I caught that small detail. They had to suffer pretty much. They had to like really suffer before the blessing. So catch what I just said. Even though I hadn't read that's chapter 15, the Lord's covenant promise to Abram, where he promised Abram a son of his own. But at the end, he blessed his descendants. Every son, every male in his household, he was like, you got to get circumcised. Every male in there got to get circumcised. And Abram, he obeyed. His name then soon changed too. But again, I'm getting ahead of myself. But at the same time, I wanted to go back to this. He say, they had to suffer because before the blessings come. Before the blessings come in our life, before that promise come, we go through suffering. We go through things. It's not going to always be easy. We go through different changes, trials, tribulations. We be like ready to slide down the wall. But God say, you got to suffer for it. You're not going to get it too easy. Why would you want it so easy? You will feel like that ain't nothing, and then I want my next blessing. You ain't gonna appreciate it. That's just like my kids. They have it so easy to say I'm a mother of 10. And the minute we get them something, like, kids are gonna be kids. They don't know how hard the sacrifices we have to make to get them certain things, and then they be ready for the next thing. Like, no, appreciate this first. Not knowing the suffering your mama and your daddy have to go through, or maybe have to go through some things, or even have to sacrifice some things just to get you these things. But you're going to have to go through something. And on the back end, they don't see the suffering. They don't see the silent tears or the things that we have to go through in life. And that's the same thing even with us. We might have not fully physically seen, but we read the things that God had to go through in the Bible to get to us, his children. So at the end of the day, we got to go through some things. We don't want it too easy. And those that might look like they got it going on in their own lane, you never know when they silently suffering, when they going through certain things. So just be thankful for what God has you, even when it don't look pretty, even when it seems like, dang, God. Again, don't curse yourself, meaning don't speak bad on a bad situation that you might be going through, because God's going to see you through it. He's going to get you through it. He's going to walk with you until he bless you with that promise. So, again, they had to suffer before the blessing. Genesis 13 also went back into separation, made room for peace and promise. Genesis 14, Lot got entangled in what looked good. But Abram moved with the courage and covenant. God may separate you, stretch you, and delay you, but none of that cancels the promise. I'm going to say that again. God may separate you, he may stretch you and delay you, but none of that cancels the promise that he has for you. God will promise you something and still tell you the process won't be easy. God will promise you something and still tell you that the process will not be easy. A promise does not cancel pressure or you hadn't to wait. When you are pursuing something, you are also being pruned. God is pruning you. Even when you're going through things, you might feel the pressure. You might feel like, dang, God, I've been waiting all my life. How they say, all my life I had to fight. All my life I had to go through some things. I just told my kids, y'all, I don't like to share my bathroom with y'all. All my life I had to share a bathroom with somebody. And I know this is just transparency. Y'all are blessed with not one bathroom, 3 extra bathrooms in this house. 2 upstairs and 2 downstairs. But it's an extra one downstairs. It's no reason why y'all need to come in my bathroom. I love y'all, but I don't like to share this type of space because all my life I had to share it with cousins and with siblings, or maybe just the older cousins, and I was the lit cousin staying by my grandma's house after I moved out. And they was disgusting. They was nasty. Not all, but some. Or just going in public areas to where I just will hold it. So I say all this to say that shared space sometimes you know you might want to not know how to appreciate the small things or the things that God is blessing you with. He might be pruning you even when it seems like you're under pressure. And it's not going to always be easy. God was basically telling Abram, your bloodline is blessed. Your bloodline is blessed. But they're not about to get easy. Like it's not gonna be easy. Like you might feel like a blessing coming. You might feel like you the generational curse breaker. But in the midst of that, your process is not gonna be easy. Where God is taking you, that pruning, He separates before He elevates. He prepare you before He even do anything else with you. You gotta process it. So promises was coming, but also pressure was. Also the process, also the steps that you have to take following God. When you walk with God, that journey might look different. Everybody's not going to understand where God has taken you, why He got you going through certain things, why you might be in isolation, why you might be in pruning, why He might have to separate you. You have to evaluate certain situations and just, see if He's going to escalate this or just say, you know what, I'm taking you, I'm pulling you out of this situation. It ain't no bad blood, we ain't end on bad terms, but God has a promise on my life, and it's gonna delay me if I keep being attached to certain things that's not for me. I need peace in the midst of no distractions, so I can hear what God is telling me or see what God is trying to take me, so I can continue to have faith. Because sometimes you might be overcrowded in rooms to where you can't even hear. You can't even move the way you want to. So the inheritance was coming, but so was the hardship before the possession. So before the inheritance, God was making promises, but in the midst of the promises, there was hardship with what was going on with Abram. He had to go through some things. You might have to go through some things. You might be at your last little cycle of pruning before God just processed it overflow and say, oh, I'm pressing that button. You ready for that deposit? You ready for that acceptance, that approval? That you was delayed, but you wasn't denied. Like it's coming. That breakthrough is coming. That overflow is coming. But you have to go through some things. Many, many, many life lessons. God ain't just want to give it to you and you fumble it. He ain't want you to fumble it. He ain't want you to lose it. And He ain't want you to be around certain people to make you just do crazy stuff. And like, dang. That's just like breaking $100 bill, and you don't know where that $100 bill, the minute you break it, like, dang, what I did with my money? Where did it go? What did I do? Yeah, just like that. So in the midst, before you make a move, God wants you to just sit there, marinate before He just evaluate the situation, escalate the situation, before He elevate the situation for you, before He levels you up. You're going to go through different journeys, different processes before He just say, here you go. I don't want it too easy. I want to work as hard as I need to. I want to have faith as strong as I need to with God. Because I'm going to know that if I got it so easy, I know how God, how good God is. With me knowing that maybe I was waiting and expecting it on this date, but then maybe I got it easy and somebody just gave it to me, or no, I had crazy faith to know that I'm saying this, I'm speaking this, I'm writing this, but at the same time, I know God gonna come through. I don't know when he gonna come through, but I know that God is gonna come through. So yeah, I want to wait on God, with God, and I'm gonna be patient to know whatever promises he have with my name on it, I'm gonna receive it. It might be delayed. It might have got stuck in the mail for a minute, but it's still coming to my address. It's still showing up in my front door. It's still showing up in my hand with my name on it. And he has to remove some people for me to get the full breakthrough, for me to get that full experience with him with no distractions. Also, God was showing Abram, what I am giving you is bigger than your lifetime. He say, that's your confirmation. You need it. You need it right there. What am I giving you is bigger than your lifetime. So what Abram was being blessed with, he say, is bigger than your lifetime. Some promises start with you, but unfold through generations. So one of your family members could have started it, but you're going to finish it. Whatever that God has for you, you're going to finish it. He's going to see you through. You, the generation of curse breaker. And I'm transparent with this little message right here. I never thought that with me having 10 kids, we always wanted a big family, but I ain't know it was going to be 10. I'm just being honest. I ain't know. God blessed me to have 10 kids. Amen. But I say all this to say, one, when I had my second child, I didn't know my mama was going to pass a month later. I didn't know that. But I do know that even with us keep going and knowing that our support system is not the strongest, we don't have that village, that support system to saying, I know they got my kids. At one point, we thought we did have some little system going, but I mean, it's not for the greater good of us, if I could say it like that. Not for my kids. So I feel like even with moments with us knowing that dang, we done had more babies, no support, no this, no that, but we still trust, we still have faith, we not lacking, we might miss out on certain things, but God still make a way. But it's also a generational curse breaker that I'm breaking, because I'm not dependent and leaning on nobody for the help of our kids, even when it's 10, even when it's a house full, to where I'm not saying I need somebody here. Oh, I need somebody here. Like, with the help of me and my husband, God has allowed us to just still balance out to saying, like, no, they might not have they sibling, the sibling, that all they have is each other's siblings love, but like grandma, auntie, cousin, my mama, like great grandmas and stuff like that, like we don't have that. So it's a blessing. Don't get me wrong, it's a blessing if you do love them down. But it was chaos in the midst of the things when I wanted peace and people around. It was always confusion. So I had to break something. Even when I feel like maybe, just maybe, it's going to change. They're going to change. Like, no, certain separations are meant for a reason. And God will still see you to it. Because, please get on. Don't give it to God. What I told you about that stress that I told you about stressing. If I could be an advocate for anybody, it's easier said than done. I know it's hard, but give it to God. Lay your burdens to God. Give it to God. Where I was at. Abram descendants had to go through the process. God was warning Abram that the blessings would be real, but the journey will be costly. So I said this the other night when somebody didn't understand that God was changing your name, that your old life calls you your new one. Like you have to go through some things for your new life. You have to let go of that old life. So whatever journey you're on with God, just know that it's going to cost you something. You're going to have to sacrifice something. You're going to have to let go of something, someone, something to get closer to God, to see your promise. And I wanted to break down humility is the posture of lowering yourself so God can lead, defend, and elevate you. It is strength submitted to God, not weakness. Genesis 13 and 14 basically ties into humility. Peace over pride, obedience over control, trusting God enough to fight for position. Trusting God enough not to fight for position. When Abram showed humility is when he let Lot choose first in chapter 13. And because he did not force his own way, God still gave him more. So do not force your way on people, God, places, things. Just know that God is He's gonna do what He's gonna do for you at His timing. And if He separates you from people, sometimes it be their hearts. God know their heart. God know you be at peace with some things, that you don't keep rekindling certain things. Like when it happened, you let go. Maybe it take you a minute to forgive. You might not forget, but it doesn't change your heart. And when you are blessed, you don't like, oh God, I thank you, God, but this was me. Like, you're not boastful. You're not, just prideful and just feel like their glory don't go to God. So sometimes God will even separate you from people because He's seen their heart. That they are, they don't want peace. They want to be, over control over their lives and have pride. And they're not obedient. I'm just using they or, people, because sometimes we are hard. We be too hard to just let go. Or maybe it's hard to let go of people in our life because they are people, or we've been connected, we've been locked in like this. But God knows that maybe they ain't obedient and they're going to try to discourage you from doing something that God is telling you to do. Trusting God enough not to fight for a position. Don't force yourself on nothing or no one. And even when it's time for your position, like, you ain't going to have to fight for that title. God got you. God knows your calling, your purpose, and He's going to see you to your promise. Believe that. And lastly, Abram showed humility. Okay. And humility is choosing peace, trusting God, and not forcing what God has already promised you. So if you could think about, again, a time that God has promised you something, or God is making a promise over your life, or you just feel like, God promised me some things. Or maybe you don't know. Maybe you ain't heard it yet. Go to God and be like, God, what's my blessings? How can I elevate? How can you help me elevate? What is my calling, God? What is my purpose? What you want me to do in this life, as I give my life to you, as I surrender to you? What promises you have over my life, God? Give me direction, lead me, guide me, protect me, deliver me from my past so I can move forward with my future. If it's me being separated from certain people, God, so be it. I'm trusting you. I surrender. I hear you, God. I hear you, God. So He'll make room for your promise, but also go back to God. Like I had to go to God. God, make room for my gifts. At one point I couldn't see, how was I going to go live? I've been wanting to go live, but how can I go live, God? How can I do these extra things that you've been calling me to do? Make room for my gifts. I didn't know when He was going to say, okay, it's your time to hit that live button. Some days I be drained. And I have to fill myself back up and get some rest. But late night talks, He say, look at this just like you will work overnight. You working for me. So He made room. He made room. And look, I got a baby in my lap sleep. It's no excuse for me to say I got 10 kids in here and I can't do it. I'm going to find my way to do it. My husband's still in the kitchen. If he wasn't in the kitchen, he'd give me time. He don't rush me out the shower, bathroom, to whatever I be in there doing. I take my time after a long day with the kids, and then he still have to go in there. Even after he get off of work, he still give me my time, and he eat late. I'm good with eating. So he probably still in the kitchen now. So I could have waited to go live and be hands-free. But look, my baby is in my lap sleep, and God made room for the promises he made room for my gifts. But it took a couple of months. It took about the beginning of this month. I heard him say, "You gonna be able to." I'm like, I don't know how, but late nights for those that has kids. Maybe you don't have kids. Maybe you like to scroll at night. You say you do the night shift, just like you used to work from home overnight. I'm working for God. Everybody don't go live at this time. I want to be different. Not just because, but this works best for me. Even if it's just a few on live at nighttime, this is what it is. But yes, I pray that God makes room for your promises. Even when you don't know the promises, I pray that he gives you clarity, that he gives you reassurance that whatever it is that he's going to see you to it. And sometimes it might take separation from a thing, from a place, from people, but just trust God. And it's not to say that when he separates you that he can't do good for them the same way that he was already doing for Lot and Abram. But sometimes people see things differently, and they get big-headed, and they get prideful, and they get the bragging, and they get the forgetting that God blessed them with this. So the separation it's necessary. It's necessary for peace, love, as well as happiness. You know. Yep. Let it go. Let it go. I feel free. I feel free. Let it go. I pray you feel free. Let it go. I done finished my notes, y'all. And I just got the baby released from me. Y'all have anything to say? Got anything to suggest? Or I know it's late, but I can read some comments before I get off. I pray that y'all have an amazing week, that y'all wake up with a peace of mind, that y'all get clarity, that y'all just, accept the changes that God is doing on your behalf so that you can receive the full promise. Not no half-stepping. You got to step fully. Walk into whatever God is telling you to walk. If he's telling you to turn back, telling you not to go back, don't be hard-headed. Disobedient. Don't be hard-headed. Do not be hard-headed even when your past try to come back and throw something to you like, it's not meant. Don't force it. If it's not heaven sent, these are my words. If it's not heaven sent, baby, I ain't forcing it. I ain't forcing it. I ain't forcing me on you. None of that. If it's not heaven sent, I'm not forcing it. If it wasn't a sign or God giving you guidance, the reassurance, like I sent this, I did this, sometimes the devil will. And not just the devil, I ain't gonna look at it like that. Just sometimes people just be people. He'll give you a sign of confirmation. Ask God to give you a sign 3 times. I got chills. Because I talked about this, I think, on the live I think when me and Jacinta was talking. Ask God to give you a sign of confirmation 3 times. If that's the move, if that's the state, ask him to give you a sign 3 times. I left Louisiana. I manifested moving to Texas when we were in Louisiana had a flood. Yes, on where to go. He will give you, let me tell you. I went to Fort Worth when it was It Raps. I don't know if y'all ever heard of It Raps. I'm done with the message, y'all. I'm done with the message. But It wraps was something me and my husband used to do. That was a little side hustle, doing a lit wrap. So we took our truck in the midst of a storm. Not even knowing Louisiana had a storm going on. My auntie house is under the water in Louisiana. We made it there safely to Fort Worth. And I was like, one day I want to move to Texas. I'm going somewhere. That was 4 kids ago. From us going to Fort Worth, 2015. So afterwards, years passed by. We done got evicted from moving out of a trailer that was paid for because I wanted peace. So I moved to Covington in Louisiana, 30 minutes from Hammond, from where we stayed, where I had a trailer paid off on family property, but I wanted to get away. And that getaway was moving to a city 30 minutes away. We forced it. It got approved, but we forced it. My cousin stayed 3 houses down, but we forced it, meaning that we wasn't really in a good shape to keeping up with the rent, but it got approved and we was able to handle it for a full year until we got that notice. And I had my husband taking care of the payments and not knowing that we was about to get evicted. When the people showing up at the door, he was hushing me like, what? I'm trying to figure out what's going on. So when we have to move back to my trailer after I gave it to my sister, I had to move back. It was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable. 4 months. 4 months for me going back to my trailer. For me doing stuff when I was in high school. Remind you, I had my baby in the 9th grade, 10th grade. 10th grade, I was pregnant at 15, had him at 16. I'm going somewhere. I applied for certain things and just not knowing where life is going to take me. But I was like, one day I want to move to Texas. I graduated in 2010. That 3rd, 4th baby, 2015. So it did not come at my timing, but when I moved back to my trailer, we had to take in my stepdaughter. Situation occurred to where I was going through something but still being a blessing to her mama by taking her in. She didn't want to talk to my husband. She talked to me. Never mind that part. I got letters in the mail telling me about openings, apartments, that I was approved to come, on this date. Then another state, another city, because Texas is so big. I was like, I got 2 letters. I was like, Right after the eviction, I said, no, God, you're going to have to tell me, like, this for real. Like, I always wanted to move to Texas. I didn't care what part of Texas. But God, I need one more letter that this is for real. Like, that this is for real. I called the lady, like, she's like, yeah, we could start the paperwork and all of these things. Me and my husband would move back and forth from Texas to Louisiana, get the kids out of school, family members. Nobody knew that we was traveling back and forth, getting everything lined up, checking the areas, doing the paperwork process. God gave that 3rd sign in that letter for me to even travel back and forth, to even know that that was the move for me. So when you asked me, was that the move? Is it to move? Yes. Ask God to give you a sign of confirmation. Your sign of confirmation might be something on the TV. Somebody saying something. California. If it pop up and jump up 3 times, that's your sign to move. Do you hear what I'm saying? I got a letter 3 times knowing that, okay, God, I trust you. We left with whatever we had. Loaded up the same day. We was already packed from an eviction. So I was already loaded and packed, had a trailer that was paid for. I left all of that. I left it behind. I left it. We didn't have a wash machine and dryer when we first moved. We didn't have no jobs lined up. We didn't have no money saved. I got tears. because I trusted God to know that after that third sign of confirmation that a letter was sent to me, just different letters from different areas, different house, like different apartment, different locations, to knowing that God was like, yeah, it's going to work out. That's where you're going to receive your peace. Like I just said tonight in this message, yes. So if you hear something on the TV, you hear something scrolling on, or even with you just sitting with them, maybe you get a letter, maybe it's something God will give you. It could be an email. God will give you a sign of confirmation. But ask for it in 3. Ask for it in 3, and He gonna give it to you. We moved the same day we packed, like loaded the truck down. Nobody knew other than my sister and my brother. Nobody knew but my sister and my brother's cousins and stuff. Like, I let them know when we touched down. And the way we got here that night, from my son's birthday is December 31st. My husband's is December 30th. But we made it here on New Year's. God got us here. Because after that let go, like when you moving in a moving truck, you can't hit the interstate fast. I was like, I'm tired. I'm drained. I'm tired from loading up everything, moving the same night. I was tired. God took that will and got us here. I don't know how we made it. I know how we made it, God. We didn't have no wash machine, no dryer. The people didn't even tell us we weren't going to have gas. That we wasn't going to have gas the first week. We was cold. Baby, we bundled up on that floor. We bundled up together into beds and stuff, got loaded down. We did it. God gave us that strength. God gave us that strength. He got us here. We don't have no family here. We always feel like, I always feel like if I could be around family, got a whole trailer paid for, on family property, and I don't receive no peace, no help, no nothing, and I'm always the helper, like it's not beneficial, like what are we doing? Why do I have to feel like I have to be in a state or around family members just because? Like, no. My family is one of the ones that I created in here with my husband. I love my family, but I can love them from afar. And even when it used to be on holidays, I want, certain occasions and certain people around, baby, I don't miss it. I used to. But I always used to have family members over, and they used to, well, I got to take off my shoes. If I got to take off my shoes, I might as well stay at home. Somebody putting tampons in the toilet, stopping my toilet up. Kids flipping in my house, busting out windows. Ain't no mama saying, hey, here you go. Like, so yeah. I mean, you could be around people for a little time, but not for a long time, or not even for a lifetime. And somebody asked me, how do you know when you need to release someone in a romantic relationship? If it's not ordained, ask God to give you a sign of confirmation. Because me and my husband been together since the 9th grade. And baby, it has not been perfect, but I know we're ordained. Even within our marriage, I just went through hell and high water. He took me through there last year, baby. I was ready to throw in a towel. Just like I said, this sign back here, this little picture frame, wall picture that I got. In the midst of my storm that I was going through, pregnant with our 10th baby last year, catching my husband doing something he had no business doing, baby, I could have been in jail or somewhere. They say choose grace because no one is perfect. God wanted me to give my husband grace. So I don't know what you're going through within your relationship, but go to God about it. I done cried a lot. I done went through some things that some women might not feel like, they would do. I'm doing this puzzle, y'all. that they will put up with. But I can't tell you what to put up with, what to do. Go to God and He will tell you. He will direct you. And sometimes it might be you just not acting like you see it and feel it, but focusing on you in the midst of whatever it is you're going through. When you can focus on you, take your power back, your control, even on the days you want to, be sad, get dressed up, like put you first in the midst of whatever it is. Maybe that might be a sign to say, you know what, she doing this without me. Like, I don't know what it is that you're going through. Maybe, maybe you want to hold on, or maybe you feel like you need to let go, but ask God. Yep. Jacinda said, you're going to feel it if you need to leave. And when you ask God, he may shake things up to confirm. He always asks, he always question me when I get dressed up. Is it more so like an insecure, person, man? Maybe that's not like, I just say like if it's ordained, you're gonna go through some things, but I know every man is different, every woman, every female is different. So I mean, do it drain you? Are you being drained? Is there balance? At the end of the day, no matter what answers you answer to what I'm asking you, go to God. And if it's too much to the point to where you're not receiving any type of peace, God will give you your sign of confirmation. Just be ready. Be ready if you're willing to leave, if you're willing to let go, if you're willing to just, not move on, but not sit with it, but keep moving in the midst of the things that you're going through. Right. That's different. That's right there. They hit different. Ups and downs are different from someone trying to put you down. And I ain't never experienced this, so I can't really say like, I have never experienced being put down. We done had our moments and said some things that we shouldn't have said, but we done been through some ups and downs, not just the put me down. But sometimes there are some insecure partners on both sides, women and, male. But I tell you to pray about it and give it to God. Give your relationship to God, and God will see you through on where He wants to take you. Is that the same question that you're asking, like with that relationship? That he sent you a text message in church? Is that you wanting to let go, or you just saying like he just quick to just throw in a towel? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Do you feel like y'all had some growing, that y'all had room? Or just like even with this message, sometimes it be too much going on in one little closed up space to where anything bound to happen. Anything is meant to be said. Just, and it might not even be meant, but it might break you. And sometimes it might make you. It just depends on the situation. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like y'all had room to grow? Or you just feel like, it was time? It was holding you back? Or maybe you just feel like, no, I need this to run back one more time. Like, give me that. sometimes God will remove certain things and certain people because it is a distraction. He wants us to put him first. And I even have to learn how to do that with the marriage because, again, Jacinta, I can know your name now. Got that name. But I used to feel like, dang, how I said that, how my mama put God first before her marriage. And I now understand. You know, my mama's not here, but I'm old enough to understand, like, yeah, God come before my marriage over here. My husband just got the baby. He didn't say, when you gonna get in the bed, you know. Somebody waiting too late to sweep. But he know, like, this is my calling. This is my purpose. I'm going to come in there. I know you off. I'm going to give you some time. But my time, too, I have to do what I'm called to do with no distractions. When he see me reading the Bible and taking my notes, he be wanting to talk so bad. And then he be like, can I talk? Like, he asked me before he just ruined the moment, because I was like, I had to let him know I'm hearing something, you know. So he jealous. I'ma just straight up say he can't move the way he wants to move, so he don't want you to move the way you move. When you can move the way you want to move. But if he locked down, baby, again, I can't even speak on it, because I always pray to God. God, don't ever put me in a situation to where I don't even want to know how to call to jail. Me and my husband been together since the 9th grade. We done been through some things, and he cutthroat to the point to where I didn't have to tell him, you need to slow down so you don't end up somewhere like that. But I thank God that he done covered him in situations to where I've never experienced anything like that. And I don't want to speak on nothing that I've never experienced, but I'm just speaking off facts that sometimes, like, just for me looking at things from a different perspective from other people, that sometimes people do be loyal and be trying to hold a man down while they in there. But you free. But he's still holding you back. But you free. But I don't know how long y'all been in a relationship either. So, I mean, I don't know if this some type, you know, Bonnie and Clyde type stuff. You hold them down. I can't really, you know, I don't want you to, I can't persuade you. I can't push you. I can't make your mind up. I don't know how long, you know, if it's a sign for, like you said, that it happened the way it happened. But sometimes, even with a man being locked up and can't move the way they want to move, they'll just do things just to push you to the point to where, like, you know, bring you back, or I got it where I want a type thing. It's still like a type of control thing, because they can't do nothing else. He can't move the way he wants to. But you have to ask yourself, like, you know, is it worth it? You add it up. You make it make sense. If I was you, I'll do the good and the bad. I didn't have to do this with my own husband before we got married. What is the good? That's right. What is the good? I'm not saying for you to give me the good, but you go right with God. What is the good and what is the bad? If the bad outweigh the good, you know what you need to do. But if the good outweigh the bad, you also know what you need to do. That's what I do. If the good outweigh the bad, okay, cool. Maybe I just need to learn how to communicate better. It's better ways of doing things. But if the bad outweigh the good, baby, push that notebook to the side. I'm like, okay, guys, say no more. Bet. You free. Clear your mind, clear your heart. And even writing it down, or just writing your feelings down, will clear your mind and clear your heart to where maybe he frustrated. maybe I gotta give him grace. Maybe it might be worth it. Maybe he getting out. You know, you want to have faith and you want to have hope for, you know, this your man. Same way, if this is a situation, I'd be like, you know, I got faith that they gonna change for the better, even when we're at our worst. But again, is the good outweighing the bad, or the bad outweighing the good? Is he draining me? Is he tearing me down? Is he uplifting me? Or is he understanding? Is there good communication? And don't get me wrong. When me and my husband first got together, like my high school days, oh baby, we didn't know how to talk to each other. We was Ike and Tina up in this thing. Like my past, oh baby, I was a silent storm. Do you hear me? He just had me massage his back and I stood in his feet. He say, now Indy, I know you're not mad at me. Baby, them feet was doomed to. He said, I hate to get stomped out by you. And I just tried to go a little lighter and gentle, but I was like saying in my head, yeah, I gave you grace when I just wanted to be a storm, but I know what I'm capable of doing, and maybe I just don't know how far my strength to go. But yeah, we was toxic, very much so, my younger days. Because I seen some things and I just picked up on certain things too, not knowing that that wasn't okay. Like, and he too had a family that he picked on certain things. Like, so we didn't grow up the same. So the only way we hashed it out was if we couldn't talk, oh baby, we was throwing them hands. And that's not right. But I mean, I was the only girl on the football team in middle school. Yeah. And I was going through some things, and that was my way of releasing. I fought my cousins, boys. I ain't never get into it with the females in the streets because I just knew that my mama instilled in me, you go to school to get your education. But I did get suspended for one fight. But I tried not to get into it with females because I know that I was going to, and I ain't have to say too much. But when it came down to my husband, oh, his mama didn't call me. My son's seeing blood in his eye. He said he's, and I said, I ain't got my mama to call and check up on me. Your son tried to do something to me too. He hurt me, but now I don't play with him like that. He's strong and he done got muscular. We communicate better, and I ain't saying I'm scared, no, but we have matured on a different level. We talk, we don't throw hands. We done broke that generational curse, because when we have too many kids in here and relationships end on bad things happening, and we both, you know, we move different. I don't even move packing my little tote thing no more. Like, if I had to use it, I know how to use it, but I don't even move the way we used to move. I used to be out in church with my little tote thingy, because we done had home invasions. We done had certain things that occurred in our life to where it made us be the person that I'm speaking on. Not knowing who gonna cross us, not knowing if somebody for you or against you, not knowing if that love is really genuine and real, because we got blood relatives, we got people that say that it's our people in our face that say that they love us, but at the end of the day, they still doing us wrong. They still crossing us, talking behind our back, or doing things that's not, you know, for our greater good. So when it came to our type of love, we have to see and feel it, but also do things that wasn't supposed to be what it was. But we didn't change in mighty long ways. We done came in mighty long ways, and I thank God. We pray now. We still thugged out. We did not tell anybody that come on my live or listen to my messages. I'm claiming that, yes, I'm a pastor, but I'm cut different. And I'm going to tell you the way it comes, you know, to me. But I'm still me, and God still uses me. And I'm one that used to be so private. I was quiet and I was private. It's like I was open, but I was private. But now it seems like I don't just say I tell my business, I'm transparent so that you can see it and feel it and be, oh, I can relate to that. Yeah, that resonates within my spirit. Or yeah, I done been through certain things to know that God has brought me a mighty long ways. And he seen me out of a situation that maybe I ain't see it was coming, or maybe I ain't have strong faith, that I didn't want to pray about certain things. Sometimes I used to be so stubborn, I didn't want to fix my mouth to pray because my husband did something so crazy, or certain things that just, I'm like, why, So I tell you to go to God and also write it down, because certain things that I wanted to talk about, maybe I know how to talk because I came out so harsh, or my tone, because I'm trying to get to a why. I'm trying to understand. My hands might be doing too much talking for my mouth, So I say all this to say I didn't adjust it. I didn't came a long ways. And if I can't tell it or express it the way I feel it, I write it down. So write down the good and write down the bad that you're going through. And if you was a storm like me, God can change you, because he changed me. He changed me. I don't curse no more. I don't raise my voice. God took that loud tone from me. So I used to be loud. I used to be verbal, physical, abusive to certain things and people. But I had to ask God for forgiveness, as well as those that maybe I just didn't know I was picking up on certain things that was around me. Certain people that used to do things. My mama ain't never used to do that. But I can say relationship problems. I used to say, my mama put up with that. My mama did that, and I can. But then I'm like, my mama wouldn't want me going through certain things. My mama wouldn't want me to just say, just because she did it, so can I. Like, she showed strength, but my mama want me to be better. Like, she don't want me just saying just because she went through it. Like, no. I had to also adjust that type of language, or just saying because I picked up on certain things, or tried to understand certain people just from paying attention, and picked up on the good and the bad, and thought that, okay, well, they did this, they came out of this situation, I can too. Like, I use my stepdaughter for an example. When that happened right after my mama passed. We wasn't married then. So I used to be like, oh, my mama did this. My mama raised up, my sisters that was, her stepkids. My mama did all these things, but she instilled in me some good characteristics. Because if it wasn't for me, that baby would have just been left out, pushed off to the side. Because we were in a relationship, again, we was going through some things. So I have a child, a stepdaughter. And I call it that now. At one point, that's my child too. But her mom was so bitter. And his mama used to say, why are you putting up with that? Why are you doing it? I was like, because my mama, this is what my mama taught me. She showed me these things. Let her be that's an outside baby. But you sneaking behind my back seeing this same child. So make it make sense. You encouraging your son to see this same child behind my back. But y'all don't want me to do it in y'all face. No, if we're going to do it, we're going to put it on the table. Put it in my face. Y'all was doing things behind my back. You convincing your son that I ain't a good woman, I ain't good this. And then he's still slipping and doing stuff that his mama was telling him to do. And the same thing I say once to y'all on live, baby, I said in front of him, and he knows that. But again, do the good outweigh the bad? And does the bad outweigh the good? And after all these years, our son is about to be 18 this year. We had to suffer. We had to suffer. We had to fight. We had to go through some things. We had to take some losses, some licks, some life lessons. But if I can say, if I had the option to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. I wouldn't change nothing. Because that same child, and I hate to say it like this, but the same child that I helped raise, I helped potty train while her mama was out clubbing and doing all these extra things. And I had to take in them 4 months that I told y'all that I was helping her right before we moved to Texas, right after our eviction. I was helping that baby because she didn't have nowhere to go. And her mama reached out to me. She's like, I don't want to talk to my husband. She's like, I want to talk to you. But any other time, baby, you trying to figure out why is you texting me on why he not texting me? Why is you sending these long messages? Because I used to be the third. I used to try to be the third, like the middleman, trying to smoothen things out. Because my husband, he wasn't mature enough to say, this my child, I'm a pick up this responsibility, even though this is an outside child. Just I'm throwing it, see if, like, the real. But I used to always say, no, you gonna go get her. I'm about to get some clothes. Like, I used to be that one. When she hear this baby know every song and everything else, why she not potty trained? Her mama, when she coming home? She ain't coming home until I potty train her. Give me about a week. The baby got older, started calling me mama. I told her, why she calling you mama? Well, she not about to just call me India, because at this point we married. She could call me Miss India or Mama India. But it ain't going to be just no India. Well, I don't want her to get confused. Baby, you think I'm just making her say this? I got too many kids, and you think I want to just hear mama all the time? But a child knows what it knows. Just like you should know what you know. Your heart, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. And no matter what was going on, the suffering, the things that I went through, even when I didn't want to look at my husband, well, boyfriend at the time, and then we eventually got married, I didn't want to look at him. What you mean? What you mean? Because I'm being loyal. How you might be locked down and holding it down. Loyal. And they still do some things that you don't understand. And you understand, like, you try to understand why you still holding on. I could be freeing myself from all these extra things. But then God will send you a reminder. He'll give you a sign of confirmation if you need to hold on or if you need to let go. I pray for you. Good credit. I pray that God ease your mind. I pray that you also give yourself grace. We ain't gonna say it's killing me. We speak positive things over here, even in negative situations. Even when you're going through certain situations, you gotta shift it. If you've been listening to my messages, maybe you knew. But you gotta speak life into your life. Speak life into your life. It's not killing you. God is just trying to get you to see or get closer to him and release. Give it to God. You're gonna live. You're going to live. You're going to live. And you're going to receive a breakthrough even when it feels like you're breaking. Don't you get in your way. You let God get in the way. You let God fight them battles. You got to shift it into a positive situation. All that other stuff, no disrespect, Val, but I don't get into all of the wars and all. I don't do none of that. Like, I give that to God. I don't focus on the things in the world, like all that stuff. Like, I don't watch the news and do all that. But God is my news. And I'm always covered and protected, and I pray the same thing for y'all. When you sit there and worry about all that, baby, where you think your mind gonna go? Where you think your mind gonna go, baby? My mind is focused on God, not the distractions of the world. But back to you, Hood Credit. You give it to God. Don't you get in the way. And I'm gonna put some oil on my chest for you to release. You release. Don't you hold all that in. You find a positive way to release. And you let it out. If you need to cry, write, pray, meditate. Because you go to God and you don't say nothing is killing you. We rebuke that in the name of Jesus. God will give you sign and confirmations. But I was saying all that to say, y'all, with the stepdaughter, that if I would have been focused on worrying about how other people felt, why I did certain things a certain way, I had to realize that even with the bad things that has occurred, I always shifted things for the good. I always found the good with the bad. And maybe that's just my heart. But I always shift a positive into a from a negative situation, because the devil wanted me to break. Somebody was praying against me. Somebody was saying something. Right. Somebody was either speaking or saying like, oh, I know this. Like, again, that was like a setup. That was a setup for family members. How, I won't say they put something to his, I can't really say that like that. They didn't push my husband to doing what he did, but they encouraged it. They supported it when they know he had a good woman. But they knew also the pouring that he was giving me, that balance he was giving me. Him being a father, being a family man, something they wasn't used to or have never experienced in their own lifetime. So, of course, the devil used them, and he went for it. He fell for it. But I was also still showing up, doing good. Never turn your heart cold even when certain things go wrong in your life. That's why I said I was very mindful for the one that's going through with your boyfriend and whatchamacallit. I ain't gonna just tell you anything, but I tell you to, just be mindful. Be mindful. And back to hood credit. I hope and pray that you feel that release. I just released. I pray that you feel that release, and that you take it one day at a time and you give it to God, and you don't put too much on you to where you get anxiety, worked up, stressed out. Because that is a silent killer. You gonna live. You gonna live. You gonna live. Yep, ask God for a peace of mind, and he gonna shift it. He's gonna shift things in your atmosphere for you. That's what I wanted to say too. Thank you for that reminder. When we moved to Texas, that's when I experienced peace the minute I moved. It took my husband a minute, and he was still trying to do things. I was like, when we leave Louisiana, we're not bringing Louisiana to Texas at all. And he still did some things for his older lifestyle, I should say, which caused the both of us certain things. But I found my peace, and I know that eventually it took him some years to find his peace. He wasn't used to just being away, I guess, still from his family, even when certain things went wrong. So we are at peace, thank God, finally. Why do you not sleep? And I'm very mindful to who I let in and out my house. Even when family want to say, I want to come visit, I know even when we done went through bad, like, this still my peace. This my peace of mind. My house is my peace. My kids, even when they get on my nerve, they still my peace. I can put up with certain things in my house, but this my peace. This is my peace. And when I walk in my office, this is a different atmosphere in here than my room. I want to be in my office all day long. It took some moments in last year when me and my husband was like in that thing, like he took me through there, and I was ready to throw it inside. I was in my office for over a month. I had a whole mattress in here. When God separates, he might separate you for a reason, to get closer to him. And each time certain things was happening, it just drew me closer and closer and closer and closer to God. I knew that he was going to back me up and stand me up and get me back straight when I was ready to flash out, crash out, throw in the towel. But even when things got better for me and my husband, he started coming and sleeping in here. He started coming and sleeping here. I had this whole office set up like a whole lit bedroom. TV, I ain't need no TV. I was meditating, reading my Bible, and getting closer to God. And it felt so peaceful. I got one right here on the couch. She at peace. Waiting on me. But it feels like a whole different shift. And anytime we done let somebody in our house, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm like, I just breathe in and out for you so you can catch what I'm saying. Like, some company be good company, but our company ain't good company. They can bring bad spirits and have you going backwards when you trying to move forward. I'm like, But yeah, I pray y'all receive peace, love, happiness. That's all I wanted for my birthday. And I got that. Thank God. I didn't fuss. I enjoyed. And I'm still enjoying. This month is coming to an end. Today my brother's birthday. I not really wished him a happy birthday, but today is the 31st. Well, the 30th. I'm sorry. The 30th. And it's almost April. But I pray that y'all, when y'all walk outside, even when certain things still look the same, that you are being changed, that the atmosphere is changing on y'all behalf. You might be going through some things. You might experience bitterness, bitter people, and you just want to feel happy. Thank you. You just want to feel happy, and you just want to go not just where the wind blow, but where God is wanting you to go, like the right direction. And I pray that he sends y'all on a journey of peace, love, and happiness. And for, I think, let me see if she's still on, the one that was asking about another state, Portia, I pray that you receive that sign of confirmation. I tell you, Texas was a blessing. When one door is shut, another one went open. And I tell you, I hadn't gotten evicted. I ain't never, some people won't even tell you they got evicted. But, baby, yeah, we did. And guess what? Right before we had to move the same day. We had to pack the same day and leave out the, baby. When I tell you, that was a lot. I broke down crying. Like, what you mean? What you mean? God allowed us to pack up that same day. We had to let a few family members help us. And I left that house the same way I moved in it. When I tell you, they didn't have to clean it. Even with, I probably had about 7 kids then. I left that house the same way I moved in it. Clean. Looking brand new. And that's how you receive blessings too. You take care and appreciate the things that you have, even when it's small, even when it's old. When I know that when our truck got repossessed, September of last year, we had to catch Ubers for a whole month. But that last Uber, when we went to get everything out the, no, I'll make sure I decline quick this time. Ain't nobody about to pop up if it ain't good spirits. But when we had to go get our belongings out of the truck, we caught a Uber. Yeah, you already know what time it is. Baby, my finger, no. It was a lady that came in a nice BMW, like a SUV. It was a nice, I don't know what type it was. It was a nice truck, like a luxury truck. And it was like the repossession lot was ducked off on a dirt road. You can't see it from off the highway, like they got it disguised. But it's a dirt gravel road. So I was like, whoever gonna come get us, I don't want them to drive their vehicle back here because it's gonna get dusty. I'm still thinking about somebody that got to pick us up after we just lost our vehicle. So we at the top of the road posted up. Like, you would think like, oh, they embarrassed with bags and stuff. Like, no, we was pent up, ready to be picked up. But the lady, when she pulled in, and I let her know I didn't want you to drive all the way back there, but our feet was dirty from there, like the dust. The dust on our feet was so dirty to where it made a print on her carpet in the car. And when we was making it closer to the house, and she made sure, she said, can you put your seatbelt on before we take off? I said, oh, I ain't never had nobody tell me this. I say, but I thought maybe I might have to hop out. I don't know what type of driver you is. I don't. She say, oh, trust me, I'm going to get you home safely. I was like, okay, bet. I ain't never had nobody tell me to put on my seatbelt. That's like, Uber or Lyft or whatever you call it. So as we made it here, I was texting my husband in the back seat with me. I say, I'm going to have one of these kids bring a towel and a rag, and I'm going to clean her carpet before we get out. And he was looking like, who? I said, you heard what I said. I'm going to do that. So either you about to run in there and get it, and I'm going to let her know, or whatever. But her carpet about to get wiped down before she take off. She pulling into a nice subdivision, and like, even if we stayed in the trailer still, like, no, we're not about to do that. So he's like, my husband told the lady, he's like, my wife want you to wait for a minute while we get something to clean your carpet. She had just had her pinky or something wrapped up, so it wasn't even me thinking about her hand. But she could barely talk English, but she was like, thank you so much, like bawling down. She said, thank you. She said, I hurt my pinky too, but thank you so much. I say, it's a blessing. I say, because I would want somebody to do the same thing I'm doing for you. You take care of something, God bless you. And she did this again. And when I tell you, she pulled off with her carpet clean. It didn't take nothing but like 2 weeks. After that, God blessed us right before the new month came in. 10/22 is when we got that midnight out there in the yard. Carpet nice, clean, everything nice. So I say all this to say, appreciate the things that you have. Even when you feel like you're lacking and slacking and you might not have the best things, take care of what you have. You show God that you appreciate what you have, and he will bless you with more. He will give you more. He will give you the overflow, the abundance, prosperity, peace, love, happiness. He'll give you more. But take care of those that's taking care of you, and you also bless those, even when you don't know who you about to bless. You be a blessing to somebody. You take care, and you just show grace and gratitude at the same time with thanking God. But taking care of the smallest things will count. And I feel like even that moment showed God, like, dang, she could have left this dirty. She catching an Uber home and ain't even got nothing to pull back out in. But that next ride out, baby God, we was able to pull right on in with something that was ours. But that's my testimony. God is making room. Sometimes you do have to let go of certain things, and I say that to say I had to let go of my vehicle. And I think I had a little pride. I'm being honest. I had a little pride because I felt like even with the things that me and my husband was going through, like we were going through it, I was still able to say, you helped me with something on the down payment, but it's like I did that. And again, our marriage is ordained. Like, it is. We've been together since the 9th grade. Before we was even married, we used to say, like, we're going to get married. We're going to have kids. We're going to get our names tatted on each other. Like, all what we said we were going to do, we did it. Plus more. But we never did finances together, right? I talked about this with y'all. We never did finances right because I never seen my mom and them talk about them having joint accounts, them doing things together financially, rather the bills was getting paid. That's what I seen. Long as the bills was getting paid and the kids was good and the house was fine, your money, my money, my money. And if we gotta bust something down and split something down, that's fine. But that's how we used to run it. And when I would do my clients' tax, they was like, oh, it's going in one pot. So they share an account. So it ain't matter, you know, because it was going on the same accounts. I was like, I ain't never experienced nothing like that with my husband. But when that situation happened last year, God was like, the finances situation, I always felt like, you know, that was my truck, and I'm being truthful. I don't think I ever even said this out loud to him, even though, you know, he helped me with it. I used to get mad when he would get a flat tire because he was irresponsible, or getting a crack on the windshield from being behind the truck on the interstate, and I'm having to, you know, spend more on certain things. It's like he didn't appreciate it from the hard work that I put in getting it. But just because of that, God was like, y'all ain't really do that together. It wasn't equally yoked. Like, y'all didn't do that together. The finances, even with somebody doing one way and more or whatever, it wasn't done together. It wasn't an agreement together. It's like I did that. I had it delivered to the house. I didn't even have to test drive it. I had it in my book, one of my journals. God got my next vehicle, one of my vehicles was going to get delivered to my front door. And that's just what God, he seen to it. But I also had to take it too. I had to suffer. I had to go through certain things that my husband put me through. Or maybe the things that we have to get through together to know that now our finances is together. We got bank accounts together. We talk about finances together. I don't feel like I'm doing things on my own, but for the longest, it was that way. Maybe he was working, but the money wasn't, like, it was funny, like it wasn't the best, or it wasn't the most, you know, but we were still finding a way and balancing out, and God was still making a way. But that truck had to go. Not just because of the past and me catching him slipping and somebody was in my truck. You hear me saying my truck. Now it's our car, ours, you know, because we doing things together. Hey, son. We doing things together. You should be asleep. But yes. I pray that y'all find peace and find also the strength to just keep going no matter what. To find the peace to keep going no matter what life throws at you. Just like my book, Life with No Instructions. I have this on Amazon. Life with No Instructions. Life. This is a little pre-order. Man, you couldn't come downstairs to ask that question. You could get some. Ain't no taco sauce for it. I had to throw it away because we left it out. That's my oldest y'all on here. Something he could have. You text my phone and you could have came downstairs to this office. Y'all have any other questions before I release y'all and let y'all go? Before we go, Jacinta, how you been doing with your with the vow you made, the vow that you made with flushing it in the toilet? How you been doing? How you been holding up? Be honest now. Just let baby in his sleep. Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. He broke that. God is good. And if y'all wanted to know, just when you could break certain habits, when you feel like, I can't see me doing this. I don't know. I can't let this go. Or even a person, I can't let this person go. Even when they still texting my phone, like it's certain pop-ups and certain reminders, but stay strong. Stay strong. Y'all, let me make y'all laugh. Y'all, let me make y'all laugh. So I had bought a wig off of TikTok last year, right before I had my baby. I wore the wig twice. I know, I can't wait till you get your order tomorrow too. I wore this wig twice, right? And I'm more of a natural person. But I seen the wig and I was like, I'm very creative, y'all. But why did I say I opened up the wig and seen that I could take the tracks out? That's why my hands is stuff black, y'all. I took the tracks and I dissected the wig. When I tell y'all I bust this wig down and got every track off, even the lace looked like, dang, you really separated that. Yeah, I did. Why did I do all that? I sewed my hair down. I braided it real flat in the middle, like just little part right here. For the tracks to be this freaking thin. Like, my hair is thicker than the freaking wig hair. And I know it's kind of frizzy now, but I just was so disappointed. I cried. I laughed and cried because I was like, this took me 4 hours. I could have been live doing my message. I was going to go live doing the message, but I just now have to invest in some good hair. I got to invest in some good hair because, like, what? Look how thin, like, I can't do nothing but just pin it up. It looks kind of like, what they say, tape ends, but this is freaking thin. This was from the wig, but the lace would have been fuller, but I didn't want the lace. But I did all that. I said, God, I know you lying. For 4 hours, the guy, he not really lying, but I'm basically saying for me, I did that for 4 hours for this hair to be this freaking thin. And I sewed it down real freaking good. Real good. It's real flat. But I just wanted to make y'all laugh. But yeah, I think I should just invest in me some good bundles. I don't too much do the wigs because there's too much maintenance. But yeah, I'll just take this out. But I feel like my hair is tight. I'm going to let it just do what it do. Or I flexi rod it to kind of make it a little bigger. I was thinking about cutting it, but that'll defeat the purpose. But yeah. I'm sorry I got off track. But I wanted to make y'all laugh because I was like, ain't no way I did this. Sewed this hair down and did all of this for it to be this thin. This thin. But yeah, I pray that y'all receive peace, laughter, realness, truth. Like, I'm the same one that you see on live in these messages, and in person I'm very quiet. My discernment is very sharp. I don't just talk to anybody. I'm talkable here. You can relate. But in person, I just have to pick up your spirit. But once I talk, baby, I'm talking just like this. And God still uses me. He do. But I like that he still allows me to be who I am. And I ain't got to be phony, you know. I don't have to be phony about being real. You know, sometimes people have to hide who they truly is. Like, no, baby. He was speaking to me Friday. Baby, what today is? Today, Monday. What was Friday? I prayed for you. I remember you. You told me specifically who your name was, and I prayed for you. What today? Friday was the 27th. I don't even remember if I was on live, but yeah, I remember you. Did I pray for you? Or do I pray for me? Yeah. I prayed. You specifically gave me your full name. Yep. Jacinta, don't do that. God bless y'all. Okay. I think it's almost time for me be getting to bed. So yeah, that was all my notes, y'all. That was all my notes. I'm gonna be getting into chapters 15 and 16. That's good. You better continue to pass the test. Continue to pass the test. You're doing good. I'm proud of you. And when they all when you receive it all, you're gonna receive a test. I'm gonna hear you speak on the testimony. Yeah. When I released some oil to my a family member that had an open heart surgery, I sent her that oil, and she bounced back within a week. They was like, I don't know how you did this. You know, she's like, the oil is, I tell her, you know, don't glorify the oil. You give it to God. But you have faith that when you put that oil on, that you praying over whatever's going through, like even when I feel tight, tense, overwhelmed, like that feeling like I need to release, maybe I need to cry, but I'm going to put some oil on. And it release. Maybe my kids say, Mama, I'm hurt. And I say, go get some medicine. No, I want that all. But we don't glorify. We know that we have faith. When we put this all on, it's healing, it's deliverance, it's God freeing you, it's release, like, you know, it's blessings, it's anointing all. You know, we don't idolize it. And I have to let my family member know. But she say, even though I'm younger than her, that has drawn her closer to God. And even the oil has healed her body from an open heart surgery. So I still got buku packs of it over here, y'all. See right over there in that corner? And I don't just advertise like, hey, I got some oil. I send it to you for free. It's for those that believe and have faith to know that, you know, you need you some oil. Protect your house, cover your house, anoint your doors, you know, your vehicle, whatever blessings, baby. I even put it in my little prayer book. All my Bible down, you know, all my doors down, even doorknobs, even when I didn't have to sneak and pray over those in this house before they realized, like, yeah, my wife got a calling over her. Like, yeah, I do. But I just released. I pray that God releases y'all from any tied up situations that y'all couldn't see y'all way through. He gonna see y'all through that. He's the light. He's gonna give y'all the light. And y'all gonna be the light of y'all darkness, or any darkness that y'all done went through it experiencing. But I will be in chapters 15 and 16. I done pretty much spoke about the promises God still had over Abram. His name changed. He had a son, and his wife had made him sleep with the servant, like the maid. Then she got jealous. Like, and I asked, I was like, you know, like out loud, would you put your husband on, or you just wait? Like, that was, I'm going too soon, y'all. I wait for that. I'ma wait for those notes. I'ma wait for that. But I say all this to say, don't force it. Let God be God. How do you get the oil? How do you get the oil? You want some oil? You need some oil? You could send me a message with your mailing information, or you could send me an email. If you want to do the email route, it is theseedplanner.111@gmail.com, or you can send me a private message here and I get it the same way Jacinta sent me her information, and I will send you a tracking number and you'll get your oil free. And how I do that? Trusting God and having faith, because God knows, baby, I do have some that pour into me and bless me with a seed, and that's nothing that I even ask for. Like, hey, can y'all sow into my ministry? Or I see such and such numbers, and the Holy Spirit telling me to tell y'all to bless me with such and such numbers. Like, baby, I ain't doing all that. If it's on your heart, it got something that's sin and bless, and one sin enough to be able to bless me to bless me to ship out more. But I do that, from the kindness of my heart. Yeah, and I'm married. Okay, I'm married. You see that bio? Yeah, I got 10 kids. Yep. God bless me with 10 kids. Me and my husband, they all got the same last name too. Yep. But yeah, no distractions, God. No distractions. But God allows me to send out the oil for free of charge when I'm working for Him. Even when I look like my finances, is funny, God still make a way. And with that, even with my, I don't know if I can say certain things. I don't want to feel like I'm marketing, advertising. But if you check out the thing at the bottom under my page, God has allowed me, I'm sorry, y'all. God has allowed me to release everything pretty much free. I cried about that thing because I'm like, go to books and resources. Go to books and resources, y'all. And this is a whole library. And pretty much everything God told me right before my birthday, you need to put everything on there free. Other than like life coaching. So I cried simply because I worked really hard on even everything. But like one course took me like 3 months to build. Like if I could walk y'all into the inside of the course, I think Jacinta, I seen you did you enrolled into it. But when I tell y'all, it got some good information. My sister didn't even know that I had everything for free. She was talking about something with the business stuff, and I was like, go to my thing and go get you that this business printout. And she was like, oh, I can't wait. She seen all this stuff for free, but I cried because I had faith to know that everything was gonna work out. I'm thinking God wanted me to build up a course to be getting financial income coming and flowing in, and I could be making money in my sleep. He's like, no, do it for free. Trust me. I was like, okay, God, I hear you. That was time consuming, but to see so many people downloading all this good information, who y'all know that just do all these digital workbooks and ebooks and courses and just like, oh, it's free. The oil is free. My blessing's still coming. But let me see these little messages real quick. Yeah, don't get overwhelmed, but it's some good stuff. Good stuff, business stuff. And if it's ever time, like if you wanted to learn more, like, my sister's now wanting to build a website, and I have to walk her through that. But if it's something that you ever need me to walk through, just reach out to me. But yeah. Sometimes too, I know that's your name, but you also gave me another name. No, I said it was Free. But sometimes you have to too, and I ain't being rude, you gotta also know how to pray for yourself. and believe that when you are praying, instead of just asking others to pray, we don't mind praying, but you also like this over here, what you see, how you just asked me if I have 10 kids, ask me how I have 10 kids, because I find that balance. Okay, but listen, I find that balance, and I don't make no excuses. Even when I'm ready to throw in the towel and don't know how certain things are going to get done, or how I'm going to have time to even still pour into y'all with my ministry, or just do things that this is what I love to do. If I could be on live all day with my 10 kids, I will, but they homeschooled. I like my house cleaned and in order. I like order. But I also like to serve, and I also like to do what God is telling me to do. But he made room for that from faith and praying. I couldn't just tell somebody to say, pray for me. And it's not to say God don't hear them in the midst of them praying for you. But you have to feel it and believe it, and not just, you could be asking somebody to pray for you, and they could be praying on your downfall. So be wise to knowing that, this is the second time I done seen you on here. Not to say what you're doing is wrong, asking for prayer, but don't be prayer hopping and you don't know who really praying for you. Now, I didn't put my all on and stuff for y'all. I really get in there thing, but I don't want to just get in that thing by myself. If I'm praying for you, baby, I want you to get down too. I want you to believe in it and have faith in it too. Okay? And don't give up and don't make no excuses. See, that's the thing. That's the difference between anybody that come on over here on this side. We push each other. And I don't want to push you too hard, but you got to believe it. And you have to want it for yourself. And I learned that even with me feeling like, oh, God, my calling was life coaching. He's like, no, it's really not. It's being a pastor. And I'm like, who? You could catch me in the streets, but who? God's like, I'm still going to use you. But he knew that I don't like excuses. Everybody ain't going to be ready. I can't help everybody that don't want to be helped. And my push might be too hard to where it might push you on your face. Baby, and I'm humbly speaking to say I have 10 kids. I go in circles around a lot of people, and I'm humbly speaking when I say this, because I'm very mindful that it's many that has children. I have a sister that has one, and she don't see how I do it with 10. But I go in circles to knowing that maybe my speed might be too much for you. And maybe I need to slow it down, but you have to believe it. And I don't want nobody on the side or praying or even attached to me that don't want to believe and do something for themselves. Ask Jacinda what she did for herself. And I said, if you really mean what you say, go flush it in the toilet. And she been standing on that for her. That's something she want. I ain't beating her down in the message. You picked this up today. You did this today. No, it's something that you have to want and feel it and believe it and give it to God. And let God be God at the end of the day. We ain't God now. We ain't God. I ain't God. I pray for you, but you still got to go back to God. And sometimes God will allow you to just, I hate to say it, but suffer. I just spoke on it in the Bible. Like he will allow you to sometimes suffer before the blessing. I just spoke on a lot of suffering that I had to go through. But I ain't throwing the towel. I ain't give up. Even when I wanted to run and call somebody and say, hey, help me in this situation, I had to go through that thing. I had to stand 10 toes down. I had to pray over my marriage. I had to pray through some things and let God be God. I thought I could prevent, help, fix, change. But I also have to realize that I'm not God. Just because I see it, he give me dreams. I can see it. My discernment is sharp. I can see through people. I can see things before it happened. Sometimes it's for us to sit back and let God be God. Let God be God. Right. We can't just run, like have somebody free us and rescue us all the time. Sometimes God might have you in it because maybe it's a life lesson that you ain't even picked up took the notes to be wanting to not repeat the same cycles. If it's a mind thing, I ask God, free your mind, give you peace, give you understanding. But in the midst of it too, like, it's certain things that I can't do nothing about, certain people's situations, but just sit back and be quiet and let God be God. Yes, God, please free your mind. Please free his mind. And find something like an outlet, something that you can cope with healthy wise to help you free your mind. Maybe just saying it ain't allowing you to feel it, to believe it, to understand it. But sometimes it might be healthy to, and I say this because I like to write. And maybe you might have to free yourself to writing, or finding an outlet or a hobby to where it helps you ease and feel free and feel you. I have it over here because, you know, this mine. This what God, this Me and God book. God gave me these words. I just did a video the other day with reading a part of chapter 7, healing, but deliverance. I never imagined I'd be where I am today, but by the grace of God, I rise. I acknowledge my imperfection and recognize that I stumbled along the way, yet I've always managed to get back up by changing my old habits. I wrote this with the help of God. The Holy Spirit gave me every word with the life lessons that I have to go through. This transformation has allowed me to focus more on Jesus. Once I did that, he revealed to me my true calling. Though I wasn't giving a step-by-step plan, I had to navigate each challenge and obstacle to reach where he intended me to be. This journey has taught me that despite the many gifts and talents God has blessed me with, I have finally discovered my passion. And I thought being a professional life coach and ordained minister was it. But baby, look at me. Look at what I'm doing. I didn't accept the calling of being a pastor. Who would have thought? I wrote this book 3 years ago. My first book. I got so many good chapters of life experiences. But I pray that we are helping you on tonight. That God helps you. That God sees you too. Some good chapters in scripture, and even a daily devotion, day by day. I got a 9-day devotion in the back. This is linked under that under my picture too, but this is on Amazon. My brother said it helps him, and when he finishes it, he gonna give it to somebody else. But I had it on my desk because I just felt like I might need to go back and read some of the stuff that I said. You know, not even for myself, but even for somebody, like what I just picked up and did. Yeah, Jen with one N. You was explaining an outlet. Child, let me see, because I don't want to tell you a story. With it being on Amazon, I really don't get no benefit from it. So it's like you'll be getting it for, you know, you got to have like royalties and stuff on Amazon. So my goal is to probably get some and sign them and ship them myself. But I ain't never even did that. So I just lead you to where it's at. But that money don't really come to me. Because you have to have so many. But I put it on there. I ain't never changed the price. I made it cheaper. But $9.99. $9.99. You see? It's on Amazon. And if you got Amazon Prime, baby, it'll be to your front door soon. I seen you send me a message. I'm glad I hurry up and move my phone. Your name is okay, I see. I'm gonna send you a tracking tomorrow. Well, it's today, but I send you your tracking before the end of the day. Thank you for your information. Blessings. Yep. I have another book too. It's a digital book, and it's free. It's like a 21 day rooted in faith. It's like a daily devotion, and it has questions and things. Very good. Me and my kids did it. That one is on Amazon too, but that one is $27. This one right here, India Sade, but you could get that one for free. I'm about to show it to you. It's on that where it say books and resources. If you click this under my picture, my finger's too big. Click that under my picture and go to books and resources. It's going to lead you to where all the things that God has allowed me to build and create for free. But if you go to the Rooted in Faith 21 Day Spiritual Reset, that's the same thing that's on Amazon, but this is the digital file for free. And it's very good. If you got a printer or an iPad, or you could even do things digitally from your phone. You could do it digitally from your phone. And you know how you could download, when you download it, you save it as a file on your phone. And when you go to your files, if you have an iPhone, search for files and it'll open up a file. And you can like write on that file with the little 3 dots. When you go to that file, you can go to the little pen mark thing. You see how you can like zoom in on something. You could do like a text box, add text. I'm putting y'all on game if y'all ain't know like that digital stuff. Like if you ain't got no iPad with a pen or something, I'm texting on the file. You see that? So the questions and stuff, you can still make the box small and you can still, use it. But if you old school with it, you could get you a good notebook, nice pen or pencil, and write them questions down. But I feel like if you have an iPhone or something digital, download that, save it to your file, and then you could add, and like you could write on the file. You could draw on the file, and then if you ever wanted to print it out. Yeah, I just put you on. Yeah, baby, yeah. I got plenty of files that I write over, text, use the text box, and once you text, it'll look big, but you can pinch it with your finger to make it smaller and fit in with the questions and stuff. But if that's too time consuming, you could get you a good notebook and pencil or pen and do that too. But God told me to put that on there for free, and everything else other than life coaching, because that's time consuming. But I feel like this is what we doing. When I get online, this is an outlet for me. This is my calling. This is my purpose. I pretty much do it for free because I want to help. I like to help. And I think that when he's like, you for sure that you want to be a life coach, because when I help, I want to know that you utilizing, that you picking it up. Whatever I'm putting down, that you doing something about your situation, that you're helping yourself, not me just helping. I had to learn a long time ago. I have younger siblings that anytime they wanted something, paper, applications, or me doing something, I always applied. I always filled this out. I always did this. And then when my sister came around, the older she got, she'll sit all day long and wait till I'm finished and say, can you help me fill this out? I say I go over the steps, share your screen, or I show you. I had to teach her how to then do things for herself, because if I didn't, she would always want to come back. Can you do this for me? Can you fill this out? And I'm a big sister. I don't mind, but I want to see you learning some type of independence. I did it at a young age. I was taught how to be independent at a young age, way before my baby. So I just feel like, you taking on what I'm putting down. If you can't do it right away, I asked my sister today. She needed help with building a website and something published in a book. You got all these ideas in mind. That's cool, but I need you to put a date on when you want to be finished. You might not know offhand, but give me a date to where I know that you for real, because that time that I'm pouring, my time valuable. Anything that I do, I'm pouring. It's not done in vain. I don't just do just to do. I don't force. I don't just want to help just to help. I want to know that you using it for your greater good, not for me. I don't want to get no profit. I don't want to benefit like, oh, she did this because of me. No, I want to see you come up. I want to see you flourish. I want to see you grow. So even with me doing what I do, if I'm reading the Bible, if I'm reading my notes, and then afterwards, this is freeing not just my heart, but helping somebody else. When I'm doing something, transparency, a life lesson, or some type of topic. If y'all bring up a topic, we could talk about it. Like this is what I do. I love doing this. I don't mind. You can text me. I'm here. But I don't mind helping, but you just got to be ready to take notes and be ready to help yourself. Meaning, I don't want to hold your hand through the whole process, because eventually I'm going to have to let you go. And just be checking in like, you good? Like, I don't mind doing it. But I don't want to hold your hand through the whole process, because that's just like even my kids. I teach them independence. I teach them to help me. Help us make it make sense. I don't want to do it all by myself. I used to want to do that. But now I learned, the older I got, like, girl, you could be getting some help. Ask these kids. Teach your kids. And that's just what I have to do. Some days I still be doing too much. It ain't required. I just do too much. But I hope that makes sense, to know that even with, it's 2 o'clock on the dot, baby, that even with the things that I do, and I just like, dang, when I'm going to ever go live? I could never put a time on it. Just turn your notification bells on. This is just what I've been doing, and I try to be consistent. If a day I miss, I'm trying to just breathe. I'm trying to woosah. I'm trying to rest and fill myself up so I can know, like, I'm sacrificing my sleep right now. My husband is off, and I'm sure he didn't have the baby, held the baby down all day, because I done played in this little head for this little thin piece of little ponytail over here. And I done went outside, let the kids get in the pool. We done balanced each other out. He done cooked, I cleaned, and he still got the baby. And he off. But I say this to say, when I get in the bed, I'm going to get the baby, because I do the night shift. He do the day shift. The minute I get in the bed, the baby going to be probably ready for a bottle or something. But I'm sacrificing my sleep to knowing, like, this is what I asked for. This is what God is allowing me to do. He give me the strength. He giving me the strength. I ain't on here talking out the side of my head sleeping. He give me the strength. I pray he give y'all the strength. I pray that he give y'all the room for the promises he have over y'all life. I pray that y'all don't lose faith, and not even in the sight of dark situations, that y'all see the light, that y'all weigh the good with the bad, that he gives y'all signs of confirmation to move. If he's telling you to be still, if he's telling you to go this way, go that way, that you be obedient. I pray that y'all can continue to break habits. I pray y'all can continue to just free y'all mind. Free y'all mind, free y'all hearts, free y'all souls, that y'all heal, that y'all be delivered, that y'all surrender, that y'all ask for forgiveness, that y'all just continue to believe and have faith. To know that even when you let go of something and you're sacrificing something, that God is going to make room for something more, something better for y'all. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. That's it for tonight, y'all. It's 2:02. I'm gonna be mindful because these kids got homeschooling. It's a whole new week, and I gotta get some sleep so I don't be too you know, so I could be balanced mentally wise. But I love y'all, and I pray that y'all have a good night. And I see y'all when I see y'all. I hope and pray it be tonight, tomorrow morning, whichever it be. But I see y'all. Y'all welcome. You're welcome. And the one that sent me your information for some oil, baby, I'm faster than Amazon Prime. I do my own packaging, my own labels. All I have to do is just drop it off, or they pick it up at my door. So your tracking, I'm going to send it to you. I love y'all too. I love you too. I'm going to send it to you when I get up in the morning. Well, in a few hours. Before the end of the day. Be looking for it. But anywho, y'all, I'm gonna go because this is what me and my sister do. I keep on talking. This is a FaceTime. And we gonna keep on saying I'm gonna let you go. And we gonna still be on.